divs and all those things are not there, but all the concept of React are being used in React Native. So if you know React Native, it is very easy to switch to React Native and be a mobile developer, because React Native is the top framework for cross platform development. Because another thing which is like React Native is Flutter, but Flutter is quite new, have a lot of bugs because it is new, but it doesn't mean that React Native doesn't have a bug. React Native also does have bug. And the other problem with React Native, just like with any other mobile thing and all, is that you need a high-end system. So that is another problem. That is another problem that a lot of people might face, because the web development is like that. You can do it with the i3 third, fourth generation also, but here you need a very, if you are going with some Windows system, you need a very like a gaming desktop, gaming system you need, and it's better to do mobile development on Mac. Why Mac? Because although all of your code will run for Android, but for Mac, what happens, there is an simulator for iOS that requires Xcode, which is a Mac only application. So you need a Mac for that. Okay, so if you want to run your code on a Mac, and it runs sometimes better on a Mac also, because the Xcode is Mac exclusive, so it will run on that only. So that's why it's much more better to run on a Mac. But then also high-end Windows systems are very much good, because see, Android, there is something known as Android emulator, which is required for Windows system. It is very heavy. You take it on a Mac, you take it on a Windows, it requires, the emulator only takes up 3 GB of RAM. I cannot even run it on my Mac, because my Mac is 8 GB only, 3 GB of RAM. So it means you require at least 32 GB of RAM on a Windows system to run that emulator, because if you're means even if you're not broadcasting or something, it requires a lot of RAM. Android emulator requires a lot of RAM. So whoever is a mobile developer, they all have high-end systems, whether they're using Windows. Most probably they use Mac only, because as I told, the means if you're developing something, it is like that in React Native, you're developing for both systems, like for iOS also and for Android also. For iOS code will not run. There are some ways to run the iOS code, like you can run on a Expo app, and you can then see on your physical iPhone. But then also some iDevice is required. Physical iPhone, if you want to run connected with the Windows device, then only that also that physical iPhone is required. Okay, so that is, there is nothing like you can escape that thing like that iPhone. So Apple have made it very much exclusive kind of a thing. Okay, so let's get started, and we will learn something more also before means even getting started and all. So let me share my screen. I don't have anything on my screen, like the blank. Anyways, by this time you need to be very good in your what I'm saying, command line. Anyways, and I'm using a Mac, and it is much more easier for me to work on the Xcode and all. You don't require Xcode, you need to have that Xcode. And one more thing, I'm not going to tell the setup. Setup is a bit not complicated, but sometimes there are a lot of issues are there in the setup, and the best place to do setup and everything in React Native is this place. This I will tell this thing. Okay, so you go here and you search React Native and the site, the React Native site, and you search an environment setup. So you'll see that everybody does that a lot. So environment setup, you'll see these two things are actually. So one is this Expo CLI and one is this React Native CLI. Okay, Expo CLI. Good evening. Expo CLI and React Native CLI. So what are they? Expo CLI is something like it is much easier to set up. First thing is that it is much more easier to set up, and if you have a Windows system and all, I will recommend to have this thing Expo CLI first and all. And as I was saying, even if you're having a Windows system, what I used to do first when I was having a Windows system, I used to install this Expo CLI, and what I need to do more, like Expo and all these things I used to do, but I didn't used to run it on the Android emulator. Android emulator is very heavy, and it, as I have told earlier, it takes 3 GB of RAM. So even I was having a gaming desktop at that time, but it was not able to take the load of Android emulator. So what I used to do with this Expo CLI, I have actually connected my phone. If you see my old React Native videos, it is like that. I've connected my phone, and then there's a scan thing in this Expo CLI. You can scan it and open it in a phone. So let's see those things first. Okay, so how to do this Expo CLI. But if you have a good system, I will always recommend to use React Native CLI, because it is by React Native, it is much more closer and all. Expo comes with a lot of inbuilt packages, and it is much more easier to use. But all the like something or the else will be like if you're going to use some camera API or something like that thing, a lot of things like compass of those things. So you need React Native, you need React Native CLI. So we're going to do that also, maybe, and we are going to work mainly on React Native CLI, because the main thing in this course which we're going to do is to learn about all the React Native features. It is not like going and building some project. Maybe building some projects, I have a lot of them on my channel also, and maybe I have some one big projects also, so I will show that also sometime. I mean, I will show, means not this time, but maybe some, it will take 4-5 hours to tell that project only. So I have that thing, but I have some projects also React Native. Okay, so this Expo CLI and all is there. So how to install it, as I told, I'm not going to tell much about it. So you just install it, and then I have done all the setup and all, and you have to do, means, see this Expo CLI is not much setup also do. But you go to React Native CLI, you know a lot of setup needed to be done. So here what we need to do, here we need to do a Expo init my Expo app. Like this, I'll do Expo init my Expo app. This is how I will do, and it will ask you something, and like a blank, do the blank thing, and it will start adding it. Okay, so that will be done. It will not be done so easily. Okay, so it will take some time. Okay, I'm mainly going to work on React Native CLI, because React Native CLI actually I've set it up like this that it works much more better on my system nowadays. Is React Native CLI. Maybe this Expo also. So Expo is much more easier, but as I told you, are starting with the Windows system, you please do with Expo CLI and install a Expo Go app. There is Expo Go app on your Android mobile, and then you have to scan it. Okay, I will show how to scan it. I'm not sure, but I will tell. Miss, see, like this. Now I have, they're giving the command also. My Expo app I will do, and then what I have to do, I have to do npm start. Okay, let me also, before doing npm start, I'll do a code dot. Thank you. Thanks. Navigation, yeah, we will do navigation also. So this is complete beginners friendly series. We are going to do all the things. We are not going to create much projects or something here. We're going to do all those things. Okay, so that is there. So this is how this Expo is there, and then we have to, for Expo, we have to do a npm start. Okay, npm start we have to do, and as I'm telling, so npm start you will do, you'll get this thing. So this is what I was telling about. This is scanner. This scanner, you take your Android phone and do a Expo Go app, install Expo Go app. From its scanner, you scan it, and it will be shown on your mobile. So if you have a low-end system also, means, then this is the best way to go. But sooner or later you have to have a high-end system if you are going to become a mobile developer, because sooner or later you have to work with React Native. That is the problem with mobile development, is that you need at least a 60 to 70K system. That is a problem. Just like with game development, we all know Unity and all require how much memory. So this is a problem with mobile development also. Sooner or later you need a high-end system. That is a problem. No other problem is there. Okay, so that is there. So, but initially you can start with Expo, learn everything with Expo, and they do this Expo. Expo doesn't require much, and you can like scan this on your mobile. So it will be, the power of the mobile will be used, not of your desktop will be used. Desktop or laptop will be used. So that is the best thing about Expo. Okay, so that is there, and now it is telling me that open it on iOS simulate. I don't want to open it because we are mainly going to work in React Native. For me, Expo is not set up exactly correctly, and it will give a lot of errors, because I've seen recently. Okay, so I'm not going to do, but I have just told this is the Expo, and we are going to work on React Native. Although both of the things, all of the things which I'm going to use are everything is same. Everything is same literally, and we are going to see that. Okay, so now I will stop it. Okay, and now the React Native is a bit different. Okay, and the setup is also a bit more. So see here, if you go to React Native, you will get a lot of development. Means Expo, just you need to do this and just you're ready to go. So that is the benefit of Expo. Just install it globally a package and then you're ready to go. But React Native CLI, there is a lot of things like that. See, you go to development. So what is telling you? What is a development operating system? You see, one thing I will show. If I go to Windows, okay, there is no iOS. There is no iOS. A Mac is required to build project of native code for iOS. Okay, so that is a problem. If you're having a Windows system, you cannot build for iOS. If you're going to go to the React Native CLI way, and React Native CLI you have to use today or tomorrow. You have to use React Native CLI. So for that, mobile developers always, literally always use Mac. Always use Mac. Nothing else. Windows is a problem in a mobile development, because if you're going to do this kind of development, you need a Mac for that. Okay, so Windows, no iOS is there. Android you can do. But the power of React Native is that you can do cross platform thing. You're not doing it for only Android, you're doing for iOS also. Okay, so that is it. Then I will, even in Linux, iOS is not there. So Mac OS I'll do, and iOS is there. So there's different installation things for Android and iOS. So, and again, one more thing, on my Mac is it's a M1, but it is having like 8 GB of RAM. So Android emulator doesn't work well here, so I hardly will work on Android emulator. iOS simulator is very fast because it is a M1 system. Everything is like optimized for this thing. Okay? So that will work very fast. So installing dependencies. So this all things I'm not going to go through, because there are some very good YouTube videos also. You can see them and install it on a Mac, or if you're using a Windows, you can install it. And all this. See, Windows also, if you go Android, you go. So there is a lot of things which you need to install. You need to install JDK, and all those things are required, and a lot of things are to be done in Android Studio also. So a lot of things are there. And so Mac OS, iOS. So you need to do this thing. I have done all these things, and literally there were a lot of things were there. Okay. So what is this? Okay. Yeah, so this is okay. They have added this thing for M1. We need to, actually M1 is very good, but you need to do some more this installation things. Okay, so how to start a React native package, and we're going to work mainly on React Native, as I've told you. So after doing all this installation, what we need to do, I'm going to do cd.dot and px React Native init. So this much maybe I'll do, and px React Native init, and rn awesome project. Yeah, rn awesome project I'll do. And okay, it is asking me to do something. Install React Native. Yes, install React Native. It's done, and all the things. And what is someone asking? Windows is a loading time for Android. Okay, for Windows system, you should always go for, if you don't have a high-end Windows system, you should always go for Expo, not for React Native. It will not even work. See, I was having a gaming desktop in Windows, and it was not even working. Means like that there is something known as Android emulator. It will not even work. It's 3 GB. 3 GB only taken by Android emulator. It won't even work for Windows. Okay, even if you do Android development. So if you're using a Windows, if you don't have a 32 GB of RAM, yeah, 32. I'm not telling 16 GB is sufficient for Windows. 32 GB of RAM is required for Android development. Okay, if you do Android development, 16 was not in. I was having a 16 GB gaming desktop. It also used to not take the load. I was having a 16 GB i3 9th generation. It was a beast. 9th generation Windows desktop, and some RTX something was there. It was also not able to take the Android emulator load. Android emulator is like the emulator which you load with that. So if you are going to work like that, it's much better to do with the Expo CLI, and do open it on an Android phone. So that is like that. Okay, rest of all the code and everything is same anyways. So cd, I'll do rn awesome projects, and then here in this React Native there are actually two commands to start it. So one is this thing, this command. You have to do this command, and I'll start it like this, and it will do like this. But the problem is that, okay, shell new tab, should have option. So here we need to run one more command. See, I will run in the iOS simulator. So I will run this thing. And I have Android emulator also, but it is so slow that it will not even run with it doesn't even run without streaming. So with streaming, it is impossible to run. I have Android emulator also completely set up. For that, what you need to do, run Android. You have to do. After this, you have to do a run Android. Okay, so it will do me. It will show me this thing, and yeah, Expo app is the best way to do it, because see, very it's a very big problem to run it with anything else. So this is like I'm running a React, and I'm running it in a M1, so that's why it's not an issue. And in M1, this iOS simulator runs very smooth. It runs very smooth, but again, the Android emulator won't run here. Okay, even in a Windows, Android emulator won't run because of the heaviness. I don't know how they have made it. Like Android Studio is like one of the heaviest app on the planet. Means it doesn't even run. Okay, so you're doing very good that you are working with Expo app. That is the way to go, because if you're not using a very high-end system, because you want to learn it. See, after learning it, then you go to a company or something, then you can do something like that. And with Expo, I know you cannot make very high quality app because you have to come to React Native, but you can learn all the fundamentals, build those demo apps, showcase it to some employer. Maybe even you can means publish those apps to the Play Store and all. This Play Store, I think it is like $49 for a lifetime. It's very cheap, $49 for a lifetime. And like not what is yeah, iOS store, it is very costly. Means it is $100 per year. Okay, so that's why people do this Android thing a lot. Okay, Android thing a lot they do. Okay, so that is there. And oh, okay, this is, see, even for me it is taking so much time and all. Okay, so let us, I think I should have done it earlier. uh, so that is there, like this. And see, again you will see all this thing, like it will be, where is oh, it is doing okay. Oh, it is launched successfully. So you have to get this message like this: it is launched successfully, bundling and all these things, and all these things are done, and you'll get this famous thing: welcome to React Native thing. And this famous, all these things you're going to get, and it means it is working fine. And when you're going to get this, so we are good to go. And see, as I told you, have to open in two places. So let's get started. Thankfully, it was got started. And so actually I'm teaching React Native also to one of my student, like so I have this setup already done. So app.js you will go. So how does React Native actually this works? This also works like your React only. Everything is like React, but the thing is there is no div and all those things are not there. Okay, all those things are not there. It is showing like this view, text, all these things are there. We are going to learn this. It is not, and everything is provided by React Native only. Everything is provided by React Native. It is not like these things you have to do it on your own. Like view, there is no div here, there is view here, but it is like a simple, like a React component only. View is there, text is there, status bar, all of these things have been shown here. So now we are going to change it and all, and for that it's better. And we are going to learn these things, styling things also, because for this React Native by default Flexbox is there. React Native by default Flexbox is there, and something we are going to learn. And it's always better, I actually like to remove all this thing. Okay, and one more thing is there. If you come here again, the React Native also, you need the same extension, this ES7 React Redux React Native snippet, because this has got some shortcuts. Actually I use only one shortcut in React Native, because I generally use the functional component only, because now you should use functional only. So it is like a React Native functional Expo style. I like this thing. React RN React Native functionality style. I'll do this and it will create all the structure for me, including the style sheet. Styles are always given like this. But I don't like one thing. It should, I like this thing to be coming at the top. So like this I'll do. And then here style sheet, text, view, and all these things are there. So let's make something small soon so that we can see. Okay, so first thing is the view. Okay, view is a replace for div in mobile world. So we don't have div or something, some wrapper and all those things are there. Those theoretical things you can learn. Okay, so those things are there. So instead of this view, this view will be there. I will, and we do styles like this. Okay, style equal to styles. Oh, styles dot container. So anything you can write. I'm writing container. So after this container, you have to come and you have to put it inside this, and it is like an like a object. Inside the object, you again having a key value pair. So this is how to give the styles here. So then I will have a flex one. We're going to learn about flex soon in detail, because Flexbox by default everything is flex in React Native. Everything is flex, and that also flex direction column. We're going to learn about this in detail. Okay, so that is it. So flex one I have to done, and then align items. So you should know a bit of Flexbox also. So go through our CSS, go through our CSS, go through our CSS, go through our CSS. Sound. And justify content center. Okay, so this we are going to do, but it is why it is not refreshing. Okay, it will refresh anyways. Let me see how to do that. Okay, so then let me give a text. Okay, text and style equal to styles dot title text, style or title text, and let me put my channel name TWD. And if you're new here and if you're not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. It helps us produce this amazing series, and we are doing three series, means 3 series one day, and it is a lot. And then we have some other series every weekend on Saturday. You know what we are having. If you're new here, please see every weekend we are. And in a month we have a boot camp also, 2 days boot camp also, that we are having every month. Okay, so if you're not attended, please attend. Okay, I will now save it, but it is not refreshing. It is not reloading. So let me also check it once why it is not reloading. Some error is there. So error will not be shown here. Error will be shown here. No, it is not showing any error. So it is telling me to reload the app, press R. So let me press the R. Oh, it is not showing here also. Why it is not showing here also? Because the React Native starts from this app only. Okay, command R. Okay, I know one more thing here. In devices you go, shake you do, and then you do the reload. This is like crazy. It is not doing it. Okay, so see React Native has got a lot of bugs also. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll do strength is div menu. This is the problem with React Native. Okay, so still nothing is that much easy and all. Okay, I will actually disconnect it. Maybe I have to open it again. This thing is something which I sometimes don't like in React Native, and again I have to do these things. Hopefully this get loaded this time. Am I doing it in a... Oh, my bad. I'm doing it in the Expo app and loading a React Native. How it will work? Okay, how it will work. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this thing and open this. Okay, so code, and that's I was thinking like this. It is not having this much. Oh, this is my thing, like, and it has got a lot of things actually. Let me delete it and put it, because it will work everywhere. Now I'll save it. Now TWD is coming. Now it is perfect. So it was my mistake, not React Native mistake. So I'll do this title text. The title text is so small, so I'll go here and do a title text like this, and do a size font size, and see here what happens. There is no pixel or something like this. We just have to do like this: 20 comma margin is 10. Okay, margin, okay, this is wrong. It is like this: margin is 10. I will cut it, save it, and see it is a bit bigger. So that is there. So let us create something like TWD is still, I'm not liking it. It should be 40. It should be 40 TWD. You should be able to see TWD. Okay, so now we will see a small thing quickly, which is like a button. We are going to create a button, and I'm going to come here and do a button here, and oh, why? Button. See, and everything you have to import it. So even the button is there. I have to import this button here. So everything, like, it is not a normal button. Normal HTML button is not there. Like a special kind of a button company. You can see all of it, props and all those things. You can see all these things. Okay, so that is there. And this button I have done. Then I'll do a title. Title is like TWDYT is a title, and then I will have a on press equal to, I will have like see, if I want to open some link here, so what I have to do, if I want to open some link here, so I have to do linking dot open URL or something like this, linking, and this linking again is something which need to come, and I don't want to give anything, like why I should give anything. It's, you all should know my YouTube channel, and okay, so this open URL is there, and this code will be there on press linking dot open URL. Save it. So see, there is one more thing. So if you are going to run this code on a Android emulator or an Android device, you see this button. It's like a perfect button. It will be a perfect button. But what is the problem here in the iOS? The button is like having nothing, and you cannot also style it. So what happens generally, buttons, we are going to see it later on, we take something known as touchable opacity, touchable without feedback, and nowadays there is something new known as pressable in React Native. So we take that. Okay, so we not take like this. Okay, like this button, but right now it is okay. So I'll say I have saved it, and now I will come here and press it, and see, it took to my YouTube channel. And please do subscribe it to help the channel grow and reach more people. Okay, and so this is there, and if I come here and have come back here, so this is how it is done. Okay, so this simple thing we have done. Now we are going to miss, at least our thing is linked and all, so that is good. Okay, so let us now instead of this thing, we are going to check whether this use state and all these things work here. So let us do one thing here: const title comma set title. Now we are in the React zone. Set title equal to use state, and we are using this use state hook TWD, and this use state hook, if you are using a use state hook, you have to import it here. So I will import it here like this. I'll import it, and it will be shown like this. Okay, TWD, and this is been shown. So now the next thing, instead of this TWD, what I will do, I'm going to do here, I'm going to show this TITLE title. Why it is showing me an error? Okay, title, and then instead of this showing this opening URL and all these things, you have seen what is this, how is this opening URL works. Okay, and want to see, you can anyways go through the go through this video. Okay, set title, set title, and I'll do twd YouTube channel. twd YouTube channel. I'll save it, and now twd is coming, and now I'll press it, and it is showing like this. 40 now is way too much, and we have 30 because okay, it is not good. twd channel. Okay, so it is coming, and button we are doing it is changing. So now let us okay. Let us do something more. Okay, before moving forward, see this notch you are seeing, this notch in the iPhone. All iPhone have this notch. This is a very big problem when you do development. For this notch is very easy for the Apple to give, but it causes a lot of problem. This notch. So what we have, something view is not sufficient for this notch. Even Android phones have like this. My Android phone have this like some small notch. So all these things, as a developer, you have to keep that in mind. So there is something known as safe area view. Safe area view you have to use. I use to get rid of this. Okay, so we are going to use that safe area view here. So this view is okay, and this container and all are okay. I'm going to change it a bit. Okay, so we are going to use a safe area view. So it is like this. Safe area view is like this, and now I will do it like this, and now I will put it inside. Okay, like this, and then style equal to, okay, you can give style like this also, double thing, and do the flex one. Flex one, those who don't know, flex one is the same thing which you have in the web. Like flex is a child property, it's distribute everything equally. Okay, flex we use a lot in the your React Native. Flex one, you see almost everybody is having this. Okay, flex one, I'm going to tell more about this in the, we're going to learn Flexbox next from a React Native perspective. Flexbox from a React Native perspective we're going to learn. Okay, the safe area view is there, then this container is there, and this container I'm going to change it a bit differently. Okay, so this I'm going to do like width of 100% and height of 120, and a line item sentence string and the center is there, and then I'll have a border width of 10 and border color of dark magenta. See, everything styling generally goes like this, and border radius as 5 and background color as light blue maybe, and this is okay. Title text. Okay, let us add one more thing like text transform. Everything is camel casing here. Text transform equal to uppercase like this, and like we have this in React also. Okay, so this we have done. I'll save it. See, now it is telling me the safe area is not defined, and every time I forget to do this thing. Okay, in React Native, and instead of its linking, I'll do the safe area. Now this, it has been shown like this. Okay, it has been shown like this. Okay, and if we have a view here, what will happen? Let's see, it is cutting this thing. It is cutting this thing. So this is because of the safe area view. Only because of the safe area view, it is not cutting, and it is going below this. So this safe area view is, that's why it is very much important with all these notches, and all these modern devices having these notches and all. So this safe area view is very much required. Okay, so this we have done. Now what we are going to do here, we are going to learn about Flexbox, because one thing to tell here is that React Native comes by default with Flexbox, and it is a bit different than the web. Where what happens, you have to give display flex, but in React Native what happens, display flex is by default. If you don't even give anything, it is display flex is attached in everything. It is in everything, display flex is there. So we have to learn those things. So for that we are going to learn the Flexbox now. Okay, so we'll go here, and all these things are okay. One sec. So we'll do a bit of changes here, and I will actually come here and do a new folder and components folder I'm going to do, and here I'm going to create a Flexbox basics here .js, Flexbox basics .js. Again, so this is how we create another component. React native functional export style I'll do. So that is there, and yeah, so I think basic component is there, and I don't want to like it like this. And, okay, save it, and then in the app.js we won't have much thing, but I don't want this code to go away. So what to do, so I will comment it. What to do, I will comment it. Okay, so I'll comment it out like this, and it is giving me error because it needed something. It is not giving me error like it is an error, it is giving me error because I have to have a safe area view, and in this safe area view I have to have a flex basics. Like this I'm calling, just like any other React component I'm going to call it, and I don't have and I'm not using anything right now, so I'll save it. So even let it be there, nothing happen, or maybe I will comment this out and save it. So it is showing like this, nothing. The flex basics has been shown like this. Okay, so now we are going to do everything in the flexbox file. So we'll go to this flexbox file and learn a bit about flexbox React native way. Or React native, if you already learn about flexbox in the web way, it is very good. You should know that thing. If you don't know, please see our CSS series. Today at 8:30 p.m. IST we are going to start the CSS series. We do a lot of, we repeat this CSS series a lot because CSS is the basic build stepping stone. This is the first step in your journey, in your development journey. So we do this a lot. So Mostam is going to take that CSS thing. If you have not know about Flexbox, and that will be taught on day 3, but day 1 and day 2 are the basics of CSS. Day 3 will be Flexbox. Please learn it, and because all see now I'm using the CSS concept now Flexbox, because Flexbox is very important here. So for this, what I'm going to do here, this view is okay, and I will have a styles, not styles, it is style equal to styles dot container, and we have a view here. Yeah, UW. See, everything can be self-closing also like this. Okay, so style equal to styles dot box. 2 times I'm going to have, and then I'm going to have some styles here. That will be this container. It will be having this background color is lavender. Okay, and this comma box will be having this background color as dark blue, comma width will be having as 100, height will be having as 100, and margin will be having as 2, like this. So all these things I'm going to have, and let me save it. So these boxes will be shown like this, big boxes, because of the width and the height it is shown, and everything is shown one after the another, because just like the div, view is also like a block level element, so everything will come one after the another. So and one more thing, okay, as I've told earlier, this by default everything is flexbox in your React Native. So I have not written like here, if I write here display flex, see one minute, I write a display flex, nothing is happening. In a web, I would have write display flex, everything would have moved one after the another, because in web the display flex is by default flex direction is row. But what happens in your React Native or the web, display flex direction by default is column, and we don't even have to write the display flex. It is by default, it is there. So that is like that. In a web, by default, everything, I think it is display block or whatever it is there, like this, like something is inline, something is block, like that. But here the case is not like display flex is always there, and flex direction is column here. That is a very important thing. Flex direction is column. So if I want to make it a flex direction as row, I have to come here and do a flex direction as row. Flex direction row, like this. Now it will be like this. See, I have not even again put display flex. Flex direction is like this. And child okay, the property of flex, we know that property of flex is applied to the children in the flex box. Okay, so what will be there? Let us now look into that. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it this as a, I'm going to use two boxes. One is the box 1 and one is the box 2. I'm going to remove this thing, and here I'm going to have a box 1 like this, and a see comma box 2. I'm going to have, let me have it a different color, like dark magenta I'll have like this, and I will save it. So this 2 will be there. Okay, so this 2 will be there. Now what is this flex property? Let us quickly understand from here. So flex is again a child property. So if I have a like flex of 1 here, and why it is showing me like this, because I made it wrong. Flex of 1 here, and so there is a lot of empty space. So you're seeing this empty space, so that is like flex of 2 I'll do and save it. So this is in twice the whatever the space was remaining, it is twice of it. It is taking one part of it. This is again something we explain a lot in the web. Okay, so now we will learn the property of justify content, which is like the properties used to align along the main axis. Whatever is the main axis, it is whether it is a column or a row, it doesn't matter. It's along the main axis. It means flex direction is whatever. Right now flex direction is row, so the main axis is like left to right. Okay, left to right. Okay, so that is the okay, so yeah, I'm always busy. Okay, so that is there, and so yeah, so we are going to do the this flex basics is done. Now we are going to do the alignment, and for that we are going to have another thing, like on this app we are going to have a alignments.js is there, and then React Native functional express style we are going to have, and we are going to show now this alignment, but we are not even going to have the safe area view here, which it messes up with a lot of things. Okay, so we are going to have this there only. Okay, so alignments we are going to have, and maybe I'm going to remove this, save it. So, and I don't need this also. So alignments, anyways it is going outside, so let us use the alignments. Here we'll go to this alignments, and here we are going to have a safe area view first, or else safe area view we are going to have first, and then safe area view, and then this we are going to have this view. Then after that we'll have this view, and in this view I'm going to have style equal to, so there is one more thing here. Okay, one more thing, and let me make this view as like a single thing. I don't want it anything. So there is one more thing in React Native, a very special thing. In this style you can take an array. So why you can take an array? You can add two different styles. So like in web you add two different classes. So how to add it here? So you add it here like this: styles dot box comma styles dot box 1. Okay, so this I'm going to have box 2, box 3 and box 4 I'm going to have, and that is okay. And rest, let us have this in this, okay, this container. I'll have this container I'm going to have, and this I will have going to have a background color as uh, light blue, and flex of 1. So what is this flex of 1? We use a lot in especially to find it to use a lot in the container. So flex of 1 we generally take in the container so that the style is expanded in the whole view. Flex of 1 means it is taking whatever the empty space is there, and if you are giving it in the container, it will expand the whole view. So it is like that, it will expand the whole view. Okay, so that is there. And now I'm going to come here and do a box of padding as 10, comma, box 1, and background color as dark blue, box 2 background color as dark magenta, box 3 dark green, and box 4 dark red. It's okay, so I'll save it. So we're going to see all of these things like this. Okay, so background color light, maybe light. It's not showing, actually it is not showing because I'm not even taking the container here. So style equal to styles dot container. I'm going to save, and so it will now take the style blue and all. Okay, so that's there. So now we're going to see the property of justify content. Justify content, as I've told, justify content is in the main axis. So main axis, right now the main axis is a column. Flex direction by default is column, which is top to down. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a justify content as a flex end. Flex end I'm going to do. So it will move to the end. Okay, it will move to the end. Flex, then it will move to the center, just like that. Okay, then there is all those other properties are also there. Space between is like, it will like having this, everything will be the end, and this is all like this your web only. Okay, space evenly, will have this space evenly, and like this we have all those things. Okay, now we are going to learn about the align items property. So align items is around the cross axis. So if the main axis is like top to down, which is like the right now column, so cross axis will be in the opposite direction, which is the left to right. Okay, so now for this what we need to do, this box. Okay, first thing is that I'm going to make it as center. I'm going to make it as center, so it will move like this, and then I will have this box have some width and height. So I will remove this thing and have the width as 100, height as 100, and margin as 2. You will have, so like this it will show one below the another and of different colors. So now we will give the align items property. So align items is like center, save it, so it is moved to the center, and then okay, so align item is center. So all these things are there, and like flex and will move to the end. By default it is flex start, so it will move to the start. Okay, so align items is like this. Okay, so align items is like this, and that is there. Now we are going to okay, so there is one more very good looking property, and very means in this align items. I show it in the web also, and that is known as the align items baseline property. Okay, so we're going to see that property, align item baseline property, and today I think we're going to end with this Flexbox only. Wait a sec, and okay, so that is there. So for this we need to again do some changes. So view style is like style will have this box 1 only. Okay, We need to have a text for that. Okay, text for that we need. So I'm doing this view, and here inside this I will have a text component style dot text style and styles dot text style 1, and 1 will be there, and inside this the text will be there. So like this we are going to have, and let me copy this only. Two, 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 three, 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 four, four, four. You're going to have. So that is okay. And the other thing is that we are going to have here flex, because I want to show it in a good way. Flex direction as row. I'm going to have a flex direction as row, and align items we are going to have it as a base line. Base line is like this baseline. Okay, baseline is one word. And then this box one and all these things are okay, but we need to have now this text style also. Text style is like this, and here text align is center, and comma font weight as bold, comma color as white, and padding as 10 maybe. Okay, so that is there. And okay, so this text styles, what is this text style 1 2 3 4? We are going to have those things. In text style 1 will have the font size. They will have a different font sizes. Okay, font size of 30. Like text style 2 will have a font size of 60. Okay, text style 3 will have the font size of 90, and text style 4 will have the font size of again 30. So we have done this thing. Let us see and see this baseline. So what is this? Okay, so I think the padding should be here 30. It will be much better. Okay, so it is showing much better. So what is this baseline? Just one thing, this 1 2 3 4 you see. So all of this have a imaginary. If you take an imaginary line here, so the base will be same. So this is known as a baseline. So that's why this is known as a baseline. So that is it. So now the next thing which we are going to do is there is a individual property known as align self. We need to do that. So for that, instead of this baseline, I will change and do it a center, and this I'll make 30 and save it. So it will look like this. Okay, before going forward, okay, I forgot to, okay, one sec, let me give the attendance sheet. uh, your market attendance here, and yeah. So I made everything as equal. So we're going to see the align self property. So align self property, what happens? So align direction, align items, everything is center. Align items, everything is center. But with align self, we can move it individually. Means our box one, box two, and all these things are there. So align self in this box one, I'll come here and do. So the children you can move. Okay. So I'll do a align self as flex start. See what will happen. It will move to the start. So it is overriding this align items thing. Align items, it is overriding. So line surface is moving here. So then this I move it as flex, and it will move to the end. So and if I make it as center, it will now at the center only it will be remaining. So this is all about the Flexbox. So we have done the Flexbox, and as I told, means today we are going to do this much, and there's a lot more things are remaining. Now we need to learn the list, and all these things are remaining, list and all these things. So those things are remaining, and we are going to learn about scroll views and all. Also someone was asking about the scroll view. That was a very good thing they were asking. So scroll view and also we are going to do. So hope you like this. This is like I'm doing it for after a